MMA fans, remember, when your fight is outside the cage, let Berta Gonzalez fight for you.
What's up, folks? It's Big Boy here at RFC 35, and this is Real Talk. I'm here with the RFC owner, Joe Valdez, and RFC fighter, Mike the Muffin Man Miller. And we're talking about the fights on RFC 35. Joe, 9 bouts. We got some good fights ahead of us. Man, you did a great job this time. Tell us about the preparation for this fight and what went into matchmaking this card.
Oh, like always, a few more gray hairs, a lot of wrinkles. But I'm glad I have Mike the Muffin Man here. He was a Fight of the Night winner last event.
Yes, it was. And blood. I was putting up the cage today, and yes, Mike, we tested it. Your blood is still in the cage. We cleaned it up, so it's going to be good. We got some amazing fights tonight. Mike, you're here to watch them. You're going to be a part of this. It's going to be big. We're going to talk about the first one right now. It's going to be Patrick Corrigan from Team Trauma fighting Troy Worthen. Now, this is a rematch from World Class Fight League, an amateur bout, but now it's the pros. And Mike, you're a fresh pro, and you know all the difference it makes when knees and elbows come involved. Tell us how it plays a part.
Well, definitely. I came from Louisiana where we didn't have the shin pads, but it does play a part when mentally they know that those shins are coming at them with no padding, and they come so much stronger and so much harder with so much more damaging potential. And then you get the elbows and also the 5-minute rounds. When you're extending each round by 2 minutes, I mean, that's a huge time to fight. 15 minutes in a cage is a crazy amount of time to fight somebody. So we'll see how these guys can handle the difference in atmosphere, yet coming back to a similar scenario of fighting each other.
Big difference. These guys are 2 debut fighters. They're going to look awesome. It's going to be a good fight.
Rematch from the amateurs.
Rematch. So Corrigan lost that first fight. He's going to be a little bit more hungry, and he's probably going to come out a little hard. Let's talk about that second fight. That second fight is a new RFC fighter between Cleveland McLean and Tommy Choppa Mills. Now, I like Mills, and he made a great presence in his first fight in the RFC. Joe, what do you think this kid's bringing tonight?
Tommy has a boxing background, but he submitted his first guy in his first RFC fight. The guy's strong. He's fast. He's flamboyant with the gold grill. He's outgoing. He believes. He wants a quick run to the title. He don't want to be babied. He wants to take. Cleveland has more experience, took the fight on last-minute notice, and it should be a good one. They both believe they're going to win this fight. They were talking a lot of trash to each other on Facebook.
That's the second bout of the night. That's going to be an amazing one. Now on to the third one. The Don Grady phenom, Ryan Donnelly, is going to be fighting, guess what? The guy from Fort Myers, Fight Zone, D'Angelo Martial Arts. This kid is bred. He's put in this fighter, Gus D'Angelo. He's fighting a tough fight against Ryan Donnelly. Joe, this fight is going to be crazy. You know the most about it. Tell us what you think.
Well, Mike probably knows a little more about Ryan and seen him in the amateurs with Grady and them, but all I got to say, D'Angelo's one of my favorite fight teams around. When them guys stroll into town to fight, the limousines come out, the entourage, but guess what? They remind me of the Bertles. There's excitement in there, and these boys come to fight.
They do it. They're in, day out. What do you know about Ryan Donnelly from Grady MMA?
Not too much, but I'll tell you, I do know, having a brother who's a competitor as well, having 2 brothers and D'Angelo brothers on the same card, putting it down together same night. That comes with a certain kind of energy when you got your brother's got your back, and he's going to be in there with you afterwards, and that's going to bring a totally different energy for these 2 brothers.
Definitely solid amateurs.
Very solid.
Champion amateur, very solid.
Nice. Now on to our fourth fight of the night. Our fourth fight of the night is, Joe, this kid has been bothering us, not bothering us, but begging us to fight. He's hungry. He wants to fight every day. Matt Ferriola, he had fight of the night a few RFCs ago against Tony Leone. He's jumping in, and he's fighting an amateur or a professional debuter, Stefan Slugger Reese. Slug is coming out of Ocala. He's trained with all the camps up there. This kid's talented, but man, he's going to have a tough night against the grappler, Matt Ferriola. So this is going to be a good one.
You don't have a name like Slugger and not be able to hit hard. The boy can crack. All them guys from Ocala, we always joked about it. There's something in the water in Ocala. They all have hard right hands. We don't know why. But Slugger looks to knock everybody out. It was a last-minute replacement. Matt Ferriola jumped in. He's been begging us to fight anybody, anytime, any place, last minute, and he did it. He came through.
What do you think about the grappler versus the striker?
Yeah, I talked about before this, and he's expecting Slugger to come out and do just that. Throw heavy leather, really try to drop him early, and he's going to try to weather that storm and hope that dies down in the second and third round. open up some submissions and end this fight.
Hey, listen, these guys, we're only at fight 4, and we're at some exciting fights, and those two are really going to bring it. Now, this fight is kind of, you've talked to me throughout the matchmaking on this fight. It's against Garrick James and Lorenzo Hunt. Now, Lorenzo Hunt has lost twice prior to this in the amateurs against Garrick James, but now we're in the pros. You can utilize some more weapons like we talked. Some things are going to be different, and hey, I think the outcome of this fight might be a little different as well.
Let me tell you, it's interesting. You can be an excellent amateur and not fare that good in the pros, and vice versa. So this is interesting. Garrick James has beat Lorenzo Hunt twice in the amateurs. Lorenzo's last amateur fight here in Tampa, he won a title World Class Fight League against Martin Vieira. And Lorenzo that night looked like a solid pro. He by far he was the best looking amateur on the card. So here it is tonight. He's coming back up to look for revenge.
We got this kid Lorenzo. I had him fighting for me over a year ago in the AFC. He's come through for me on last minutes. He's come through me on long minutes. This kid is here no matter what to fight who. And hey, I can't wait to see this fight.
A little interesting. Mike was supposed to.
That's right. We were supposed to have Mike. He got injured. That's right. So this is a good fight for you to watch.
Yeah, this is actually the second time we were supposed to be lined up to fight. One day, maybe third time's the charm. We'll be able to get in there and
85.
185. Yes, I'll be dropping down.
That's going to be a fight right there. Let's go on to these last fights. Let's go on to the last 3 fights. Now, yesterday at weigh-ins, we had a little bit of excitement. We're MMA fighters. There's going to be some. Everybody still was at a respect level. But let's talk about this John Jittle and Sean Hollis. Listen, if knife could cut tension in that night or yesterday in the weigh-ins, it cut it last night. These men were ready to smash each other at weigh-ins, and I think it's going to go down heavy in there. What did you think about that weigh-in last night?
It was to be expected from Sean. We've seen it in the past. Very tense face-offs. Sean came in a little overweight. He's hungry. I believe he went off and cut it. John made him cut it. But John's coming out from Vegas, training with some of the top guys, in the country, maybe even the world. Really well-rounded fighter. We'll see if Sean can get past that hard weight cut and push it through those later rounds.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't at one time John was Frank Mir's protege or trained under Frank Mir, right?
Yeah, highly touted amateur, trained with Frank Mir. Then he took for whatever reason, took some time off for the sport. He's coming back now. This is Hollis's last fight supposed to be, and it was heated. You know how intense Sean Hollis is.
Very intense.
Tonight, his walkout is intense, his music, everything. So it was heated. I need you two guys with me from now on at the weigh-in. So
hey, I was here. I was just setting the cage up. I really think there's going to be some fireworks and sparks going in that fight. That's going to be probably fight of the night, I think. Originally, it was going to be Roy Every and Al Speedy Martinez, but unfortunately, Roy had some health issues. We'll set that off. We pray for Roy. I hope he recovers real quick. We're out there for you. We're here for you, Roy. Next one. Now, this is a good fight because this fight here is going to lead up to something in February for that Florida State title that Cam Neville holds, and that's Luis Zakira versus Caleb Williams.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Cameron Neville's going to be here cage side watching that fight.
We're going to try to get an interview with him.
Yep, we'll get him. If Lewis wins, Caleb's tough. Caleb has more experience, comes from an excellent team, American top team with a lot of experience, good wrestling background. This to me could be fight of the night. We know Lewis's power. He can hit you with an arm punch and put you to sleep, but Caleb is the most dangerous guy Lewis has ever fought.
Now, Lewis is coming off of a loss from the HOF, but I don't think that's going to mess him up. Here's one of his teammates. Thank God we got Mike here tonight. Mike, what's Lewis's camp look like?
It was excellent. He's struggled with that 145 class and making that weight in the past. He was on weight much sooner this time. Looked a lot better, felt a lot better. He was cognitive before weigh-ins. Both these guys come out there and they're there to bang. Luis went undefeated as an amateur and then went 3-0 as a pro and ending people in devastating fashion. And he's going to go out there and be explosive tonight and look to do the same thing.
Big knockout on Justin Curlin in the last RFC. Oh, that's right. We forget one fight. Why isn't that on there? Oh, I missed one. This fight, okay, this is actually, I personally think this is going to be fight of the night now. Mike D'Angelo versus Matt the Steamroller Frivola. Don't be confused about Matt Ferriola. This is a different fighter. Matt Frivola out of Gracie, Tampa South. He's a World Series of Fighting veteran. He's here in the RFC for the first time, and he's fighting one of the D'Angelo brothers, the older Mike D'Angelo. And man, I think fight of the night again. I don't even know what to say about that.
Yeah. I mean, these are two guys who are potential 155-pound champions. Matt Frivola, there's been a lot of talk about him the last couple of years. He's getting a slow start. I believe he's in the service. So he's had some bad luck with fights. And then again, we're talking about another D'Angelo brother that is solid.
Frivola, I'm going to tell you, I've known this kid since the beginning of my career. Back when I used to fight, he was a brand new kid, and he would still come in there with guys who have been fighting for years, pros, and the kid is tough as nails. We had him versus Tony Leone in an amateur fight. It was one of the best fights we had. And, man, like I said, I really think this will be fight of the night.
Yeah, I think even more than the fighters, what is really going to bring this tonight is the backing that each fighter has with their teams. Like I said, D'Angelo has his brother, and then Gracie Tampa South, one of the strongest teams in Tampa. I think arguably the strongest Gracie Tampa team in the city under Matt Arroyo, UFC vet. Really strong fighters out there, and they're going to be backing their fighters. You know, they had strong camps and going to be here to bring the show.
It'll be a good one. Main event time. This is a fight that's been in the works the whole time. Nothing was changed. These guys have been set to fight the entire card. We had no last-minute makes. Ivan DeValge versus John Ortolani. Joe, you made this one. Ivan's got a test tonight. He's still wanting that Florida State title. I heard his coach asking you about it. They want Brian Keenan again. If that can happen, it's possible, but he's got to make it happen tonight. What do you think?
He better concentrate just on this fight. This kind of reminds me of the Lon Cruz Cameron Neville fight. Ivan less fights, a local star coming up, a lot of talent. But John Ortolani has more experience at a bigger weight. He's fought good guys, a lot of fights, bigger guys coming down, just like Cam Neville did. So that's interesting.
That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I think he's got 16 fights total, a record of 7-9, I believe, and that's a lot of experience to have in the cage, and not to mention his amateur career. But I'll tell you, Ivan's another one of my teammates, and I'm not just saying this because he's my teammate, but I've never seen Ivan so on. His speed, his power, and especially his timing. Everything just seems to land. When sparring with him, I mean, it's a frustrating 5 minutes to go with him. Everything lands, and both guys are going to be bringing that A game tonight.
Listen, you heard it from us right here, folks. We're at RFC 35. The mastermind himself has made nine of the most amazing fights ever. And now we're going to mention one thing. Later on today in the cast, we're going in the show, we're going to mention a few of the super bouts that we have coming for February. And I'm going to tell you what, this fight is 10 years in the making. You local MMA fighters, if you don't know who these two guys are, you're gonna. We're going to announce it soon, so stay tuned, and we're going to come back with the results of the fight. This is Big Boy with Joe Valdez, Muffin Man, and Fightrepreneur.